Alright. Alright. Spyro to 100%. The one you've all been waiting for. Oh wow, your stream is like really delightful. Okay. Anyway, so 100% collecting everything in the game. There's 14 talismans, which we collected in the other categories, 64 orbs, and a total of 10,000 gems. Because of how... We've mentioned in the other runs before about the double jump mechanic, which lets us skip around levels a lot, and that really plays a big role in this run with routing the levels. We can do a lot of levels very much out of order, which you see right from the start here in Glimmer. We jumped, well, Alex jumped out of bounds right at the start to skip straight to the end of the level to start an orb challenge. This challenge you essentially need to... you're supposed to hit 6 lizards with rocks. Sounds like having fun. we don't... Oh yeah,
I don't know my audio on stream, by the way, Alex. I don't know if you turned it on. Sorry.
Oh god. Okay, so apparently Alex's mic isn't coming through on stream, so that's fair enough. He'll fix it in a minute. So yeah, the reason we do this level backwards is because you have to kill these lizards in order, and you kind of start at the end of the level. And so it's better just to skip there and do the challenge as you're going through the level, collecting everything else, rather than go all the way to the end and then come all the way back. This is a pretty tight cycle he has to make, where he's going to collect all the gems in this room during the lamps. You don't get a lot of spare time doing it like this. So it's not too bad once you practice it, but it kind of throws a lot of new people off from learning this category. It's right at the start and it's really hard. Oh yeah, I forget how it's stream. Yeah, so it's 25 seconds for the lamp cycle, and you need to get the lizard and all of those gems, and the rest of the lamps during that time. So. And yeah, he skipped a Zoe, but that particular Zoe talks to you, and it talks to you twice actually, and loses a lot of time. But just by jumping over its trigger, you can skip. And then a lot of flame charging going on. It's just a tech that you'll see constantly through the run. It saves a lot of time. If you flame a basket, normally the gem just kind of pops out and doesn't home in. But if you charge through it, it does home in. But you can kind of trick the game into thinking you've charged it by flaming and then charging very quickly as you go past it, and it lets you cut corners more tightly. Optimize movement a lot more. And yeah, we have to exit this level through the portal, so it kind of defines the route again. Oh, you left? Cool.
So I'm AllyDest, this is Spyro too.
Welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you.
Yeah, I didn't know if I needed mic and output for OBS, but now I do.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were taking it from Discord or what.
Yeah, first homeworld of the game, Summer Forest. Right now I'm collecting 500 gems to buy Swim, which I need for Swim and Air coming up pretty soon to go into Ocean Speedway.
Yeah, technically you wouldn't have to buy Swim here, but it just sounds like being very much worth it. You don't, like, unlike the other categories, you don't really need to detour for gems in this one, because you've already got 400 from Glimmer, and then this, you can easily get 100 more on the way to money back. Nice.
Yeah, unlike Spyro 1 and 3, for the 100% categories, it's more doing the levels in order in each home world, but Spyro 2, it's a bit
Yeah, it's
way
not
out of
quite.
order.
Yeah, so the like route through the game, like the level order and stuff, is not what you'd expect if you played this game normally. We basically want to head right to the end of the game as early as possible so that we can pick up some kind of end game abilities, like some power-ups and stuff that will help us beat the rest of the game much faster. Let's first try swim. That swim can troll a lot. You just kind of push yourself up against the land and then hit square and hope. There is some positioning and timing, but it's tricky.
Yeah. Well, like sometimes it can be first try, second or third try, or it can be like 10th try.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a route for that section that doesn't use the swim. It's a bit more consistent, but it's a few seconds slower. You're gonna see a 45 right here.
I miss the double boat. Okay then, I'll just fail the speedway
Oh yeah,
then.
you did. Oh no.
Well,
Damn, I'm really delayed. Refresh. So yeah, this is a speedway. There's two parts to every speedway. There's a time trial, and then after you beat the time trial, you unlock an orb challenge. The orb challenges are usually well, there's 4 speedways, and 3 of okay, so 2 of the 4 challenges are actual auto-scrollers, and then 1 is almost auto-scrolling. This is the only one where you can really speed it up a lot. But yeah, the time trials are cool. There's lots of optimization of super flying as low as possible, which makes you go faster, and supercharging what you can, which is faster than flying. Alex actually got the world record for this speedway yesterday.
yeah, without a fast strat at the end.
Yeah, he exposed me. I had the record before with like a second and a half time saved at the end. It's probably less than that, but it's significant.
Yeah, here's a hunter challenge. Most of these, are supposed to be a little bit auto-scrollers, but this one you can speed it up by getting one of the rings I just did, out of order. Saves like 2 or 3 seconds, I think. Which is
it's
surprisingly not much.
Yeah, you would think like you get these rings out of order and you end up like finishing the challenge way ahead of Hunter, but it saves the best time in, I think. But it's worth doing. It's not particularly difficult.
Yeah.
And it looks cool.
Yeah, if you don't get to a ring that turns green in time, it starts shrinking even more until it disappears.
Yeah, at which point you
fail the challenge
and cry.
You get to see Glimmer again and
Yeah.
fun times.
Yeah, there's a lot of early game resets when running this category. The first kind of 15-20 minutes of this run are very difficult. Or, I don't know about difficult, but like, hard to get a run going. Like, it's easy to lose a lot of time. Like failing the speedway or failing some tricks later. Glimmer's a hard level.
Yeah, there's the first boss skip,
Yes.
which you only unlock by collecting 6 talismans, which you get at the end of each level in Summer Forest. But we don't really need them. We just skip right into it.
We skipped like most of that home world, and you might think like, wait, isn't this 100%? Don't you need to get all the stuff for all the levels? And we will do later, but it's faster to get some more abilities first and then come back later. Quite a lot faster actually. Some levels are very slow.
I mean, if you've played this game enough to remember how many talismans it takes to get to the second boss, Gulp, which is all 14, you might be thinking then, where are you going again? To Gulp? Well, there's another skip. It's a bit unorthodox.
Yeah, it's a bit more difficult than to Crouch. Skipping into Crouch is actually like super easy. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. If you just like vaguely like search for a way, you'll probably find it. There's a bunch of different elements. Whereas skipping into Gulp is much more difficult. So yeah, not much to say about this fight. We've kind of explained the optimization in previous runs, but basically you just lead into one of the buttons and keep him there. It's kind of the same in every category.
Okay. You might expect me to do a level at this point, but I'm not actually going to do any right now.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to go straight to where Gulp is, but clear out the uppermost section of this home world, Autumn Plains.
I missed the dive bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, having to turn around in water to get gems sucks. It's really slow, so if you can like land directly on one of those bottles, it's very
Doing
nice.
all this double jumping along the roof to get to this upper area.
Yep, this is climb skip. Again, we will need climb later in the run, but if we wanted to buy it now, we'd need 500 gems, which... And
we do have enough.
Yeah, we do have enough, but it's just not worth doing.
The only money bags you need to pay for in this run is for swim.
Yeah.
That's really all you're going to see of him.
Yeah, if you like money bags, you kind of missed. You missed it. And then yeah, this glide, it seems really slow, but it's the only way to get to this island, and it's got an orb and some gems on it. But then getting back is easier to just death abuse.
Now for the hard part.
So yeah, this is Gulp skip. I'll let Alex do it and
Got it.
it.
Well.
Spoilers.
Oh wow, nice. Okay, so what I did was clip through that breakable wall you just saw there, which is the intended way of getting to that upper area. But if you break that wall, you won't be able to really do what I just did at all.
Yeah, the little clip you did requires the wall to be there, and so you have to come in from the back by doing the jumps on the roofs, fall down past that whirlwind. It's funny, that whirlwind that he fell past, if that took up the whole like space of that like a tunnel, I guess, then Gulp skip wouldn't be possible. It's only possible because that whirlwind is like badly programmed.
Yeah, just a few. Like I can only like delicately tap up in order to really clip into the wall, and there's a few like instances where I need to set up stuff if those few things happen, like the camera moving at all or whatever. Sometimes that can happen.
It's a really finicky trick. There's like a bunch of things that can happen. You need to know how to deal with each one. But you can get it pretty consistent with some practice, especially with the new strats. The strat to get out of bounds used to involve gliding into the pillar, which is kind of waiting to fall down. But there's a faster and more consistent strat now, which is nice. So yeah, Gulp.
That's not gonna
kind
make
of
it. It's
kind of the same as every other run. You're trying to get doubles. Bombs are bad because you can't get the second hit of a double with them. Oh, this is tragic. And yeah, he needs to be taking damage here. He wants to exit this fight with no spots for a trick he'll be doing just after this fight.
yeah. Don't bonk.
Also needs to be careful not to take damage too early in the fight, because once you have green or less, they start dropping chickens, which, like any egg that has a chicken in it, doesn't have anything you can hit Gulp with, so
Yeah.
you don't want that.
Plus, you don't want Gulp to eat the chicken because he'll gain back
Yeah.
1 health.
That was a good ending, actually. That was pretty fast.
I was worried I wouldn't even take the damage there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people might recognize that as head bash skip.
Yeah, there are a few ways to get into the castle, but the other ones require a penguin proxy, which we can't do right now because we need to keep no sparks. If we were to do a proxy, we would get health back. So yeah, he's gonna head out of bounds and into Dragon Shores, which has been in every other... Oh wow, he's doing that. Oh man, going all out. I like it. So that's a faster strat than you'll have seen in the other runs to get into Dragon Shores though. It's kind of risky because you only end up like just high enough to get in, so if your movement is bad, you fall and die. And it's even worse in this category because you gain sparks back, and so you have to do a different strat for this skip. So yeah, swim out of bounds. This is why you need to be sparksless. If you try and swim in Dragon Shores with sparks, you crash the game. So you need sparksless to avoid that. Swim underneath the fireball power up, get fireball, and then swim into the theatre.
Yeah.
So yeah, watching the final cutscene in the theatre has the effect. The game kind of thinks you've beaten the game for some, in some respects.
Yeah.
Basically, what it does is it gives you all of your gems back from money bags, and then gets rid of all the rest of the money bags that you haven't paid for. Which means we no longer have to pay money bags for everything. Everything that would be unlocked by paying for it with gems is now unlocked, including all of the abilities and a bunch of things in levels, like bridges and stuff. So it's a decent detour to get into the theatre like that, but it ends up being worth it. You save a lot of time just from not having to unlock things.
Yeah, we now have Fireball, which
Yeah, more important.
which makes every level much faster.
Yeah, we can now just do everything more quickly. You can now do things. You can like fight, flame charge, metal vases. You can kill enemies that you wouldn't otherwise be able to kill, like he's doing here in Robotica with the green beetles. You normally have to head bash them. Fireball and that makes it way quicker. We can break metal chests that would normally need like a rocket or a supercharge to break. We can do sequence breaks in a bunch of levels, just lots and lots of time saved from Fireball. Like minutes. It's hugely worth it.
Yeah, I'm
So
killing enemies here. Yeah, 15 enemies for supercharged power up, which is well, I think every level has its own power up to use for a certain challenge, and this one requires supercharge. It wouldn't necessarily have to require supercharge, but there are like 2 doors that aren't able to be fireballed.
They did a little cool thing there. It kind of offered for me. I don't know if it gets on stream, but he fireballed the mystery jar from long range, and then did you miss that?
Yeah, I did.
He fireballed the mystery jar from long range, and then talked to the guy who gives it the end of level orb. And one of the cutscenes kind of interrupted the other, and he gained control back earlier than he would have, and was able to collect it. Convenient, yeah.
These 2 doors can't be fireballed, but the pumpkins I can, at least, because I can do a little cool strat at the end where I warp back to the guy that That gives me the orb for clearing out all the pumpkins and doors.
Also,
Like
the vases and baskets that were on the track, he supercharged through them. And there's a weird thing with supercharging in this game where if you supercharge through a gem container, the gem doesn't home in. Or it just, for whatever reason, it's not. It just pops out and you don't get it. So you need to either stop supercharging or you need to do what he's doing here and just go through the area again to pick up all the gems.
Yeah. Had I not missed that gem, like I stopped my supercharge for, then I would be supercharging all the way to the ending vases right there.
That's a much better time to get that gem if you miss it. I never thought of that.
Rainforest,
Just
these
try and
gems.
pick it up. So yeah, that's the only. Oh, actually no, it's not. It's the only like normal level he's gonna do in this home world for the moment. He's gonna head to the Speedway. So yeah, this Speedway sucks. I don't like it. A lot of people disagree, but it's by far my least favourite.
That's like every other Speedway and Flight and Spyro levels. It's just get 8 to 4 things in a certain time.
Yep.
Ooh, perfect vultures. Now for Pew Pew.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, getting all those vultures in one cycle,
I've got
it's
the
pretty
plane on remote control. So all you have to do is
kind of need to do the rest of the Speedway fast as well to end up in a good song.
use the D-pad or analog stick to aim.
Yeah, here's the first auto-scroller for 100 challenge. It's the greatest thing.
Yeah, this challenge is awful. I mean, it's not awful because it's easy. You just sit there and shoot the targets, but you can't speed it up. Can we get some PPs in the chat, please?
Yeah, this is normally the time where chat would spam Pew Pew, but I haven't really seen that in a while because the memes died down.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, nothing you can really do to speed that up.
So after he's done with this level, he's going to head back to the first homeworld, and from here on out, we're basically going to be doing the game in a kind of normal order. Just going through as if he just started the game, just going through like normal. But because we did all that stuff at the start of the run, he has Fireball and he has abilities which speed up the run like hugely.
Also, you cannot headbat or fireball those rocks for some reason.
Yeah, I think those rocks and the barn doors in Robotica are the only things that you have to, like, that you can't fireball, that you can break some other way.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably forgetting something.
Yeah, for some reason they didn't make those fireball
I guess it's
or whatever.
the Magma Coda shit was on PAL. They don't break to fireballs.
Yeah, they made a lot of stuff in this game break with fireball, but for some reason not those rocks.
I guess something to point out is that having fireball from the start of the game is an intended thing. It's supposed to be a new game plus feature.
Yeah.
You 100% the game, and you unlock the fireball power up, and then if you start a new save file after getting it, you have fireball from the start. I don't know how many people noticed that as a kid, but Yeah, look, we're able to get it from a fresh file with some skips, but it is an intended thing.
Yeah, here's Idle, which is like the bane of 100% runs because of this challenge right now.
Raise your red enemies.
Completely random fish because, yeah. Basically, we had to fireball blue and yellow fish into the idol's mouth, and if you fireball red fish, then he spits out about like 3 fish out. You just ruined your day.
Yeah, you just have to wait. This, like, there was a suggestion of a way to speed this up recently, but we think it doesn't actually help. It's just a placebo.
Yeah.
The first person thing too. But
yeah, usually you just. I mean, it rarely ever happens, but you can get 10 blue and/or yellow fish in a row.
Yeah,
it's happened before,
I've seen it,
but
like,
usually this is what happens in runs, basically.
Like I missed one and still got no rings.
Yeah, usually this is what happens in 100% runs. It's just waiting.
Yeah, the variance is pretty big. You can, it's maybe like 30-40 second variance between like the worst fish and the best fish. But I mean, it could theoretically just go on forever. It tends not to. And yeah, he needs to be killing enemies in this level. He needs to activate a supercharge power-up. Actually, yeah, that's another thing. Oh, you can break those with fireball. It's just not worth doing, I guess. But yeah, there's a challenge that we have to need supercharge for, so he needs 8 enemies. Thankfully, there's enough just on the way. It's not a big deal.
Sometimes you can get this guy to open the door earlier, but I thought I figured it out by like fireballing that guy earlier, but I guess not.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and it's not consistent. I don't know what the deal is with this cycle. The guy outside, the guy who runs around the little mount, he seems to be pretty consistent, but the door guy isn't. We're gonna get a little thing here where he breaks some vases during, like, while he's waiting to be walked after doing that challenge.
Yeah.
There's a few times in the run we do that. We kind of finish a challenge and it takes a little bit of time to warp us, and so we use that time to do something, to get some gems or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just saw a proxy, which I think has been mentioned many times in Marathon anyway.
Yeah, that one specifically we haven't seen before. That's chest proxy. That chest has a weird hitbox on the top of it. You can't stand on it.
That was weird. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
No, I'm waiting for this. Oh, what? What the hell? That was fantastic. Yeah, I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, so that's all this. We used to just go 2 laps around that area, but turns out it saves about half a second to go backwards the first time. Or go backwards the first time. It's a very small time save, but it's not too hard and
It looks cool though.
Yeah. And then he had to stop his supercharge early there to pick up that basket for the same reason as in Robotica. Oh, that gem though.
Another bane of existence for speedruns is this level. If you remember
it's like,
hockey.
Yeah, there's 2 really awful levels right next to each other.
And my PB/world record has like 40 seconds in both of these levels. So I mean, like idle, it doesn't matter too much, even though losing 40 seconds is still awful. But Colossus, it's a bit
Yeah, like
not
idle,
really an
it's
excuse at all.
yeah, idle's just random. You can't really influence it. Whereas hockey isn't. Like it's somewhat random, but like you shouldn't be losing that much time most of the time. It's,
Oh, thank
you can definitely be better at hockey by practicing.
Yeah.
Whereas fish is just long. Also, he collected some gems through the wall there. He fireball charge. He fireball charged next to a wall, and the blast radius from the fireball was big enough to break some gems and break some baskets on the other side of the wall. And because he flame charged, they hugged in through the wall. It's not a big time saver, but it makes some movement later. It's a lot smoother.
Always center my camera there. It's annoying. Oh yeah, there is like 10 statues that have been corrupted by evil spirits that you need to fireball in order to make them turn back to normal, and they're scattered around the level.
I hate that one in the cave. It's so much better in 40 with flame. Like, I just always miss it with final.
Yeah, here's hockey. What we want are for the goalie to hit the puck back towards us, and that's what we call a quick shot, which I...
Yeah, on that first one, you got a quick shot. The goalie just hits it straight at him, and you just you can hit it very quickly. There's a setup for it, but it's not. It's hard and it's precise and it's slightly inconsistent. Like even if you do exactly the same thing every time, it's not always going to work because the guy who throws the puck sometimes throws it at different speeds, so messes up your time. But that was 3 quick shots, which is definitely good.
It's typically what you want to aim for.
Yeah.
5 quick shots has happened, but it's as rare as
Yeah,
fish,
not very
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested how many times that's happened ever. I've got it twice. A bunch of other people have had it. Not very many.
Yeah, here it's easier than... This is easier than the first hockey, of course, but what I'm typically doing is fireballing the enemy so that he stays back away from the puck, but I also try to stay kind of in front of him, so the goalie is basically trying to hit the puck towards the opponent. So if I stay in front of him, I'll always have the puck be hit towards me and get an easy shot.
Yeah, the opposing goalie always hits the puck towards his player, his teammate. Whereas your goalie doesn't do that. Your goalie is awful and just hits it wherever he wants to. But yeah, the hockey 2, in theory it's easier than hockey 1, but if it goes wrong, it goes.
Yeah,
Can definitely lose more time to mistakes in hockey 2.
there's another proxy, which is also fairly easy to do.
Yeah, NTSC, that hole is plugged in the power. But yeah, you just kind of double jump into the little bit of like terrain, I guess, and you can get proxied upwards straight into the. That's actually a kind of new addition to the route. The proxy's been known about for ages, but the kind of consistent way of doing it was relatively recently.
Well,
That's the whole of Colossus. Just get done with statues and that's it.
Oh, you didn't do the Vase snipe at the start. Do you normally do that, or?
Oh, I don't. actually.
Oh,
I've seen
it's
it.
so nice. Yeah. Makes the ending so much better. So yeah, that's that's like the worst levels in the run over with, I would say. Kind of gets better from here. In terms of like how much time you can lose to this random bullshit.
This button is the worst. You can aim a fireball at it and it won't actually open the door.
Yeah. If you it's weird, if you like turn to face the other direction before the fireball hits, it just won't count, like it just won't activate the button. It's a really weird little quirk of the mechanics. And these gems up on this ledge, he could have got during like earlier in the run when he had swim in air. It's about the same speed to do it like that, but it's just kind of a preference thing to get them later. I think. Maybe one of them's faster, but I've heard that it's
You can dodge these guys with the wrenches just by jumping or charge jumping at the right time, but
yeah, they're tricky.
they're still
If
kind
it's
of
like if you're kind of too far away from them, they'll hit you even if you jump. You need to be like right up close to jump over their heads.
Spyro.
Also, this is a level where Fireball saves a bunch of time, because if you don't have Fireball, you need to kill 18 enemies to activate a supercharge power, just to break one metal chest with gems in it. But it's kind of required. We can break it with Fireball, so no enemy reply. And that will be a theme in a bunch of levels. You just don't need enemies.
yeah.
And cool little have a bounce through the roof here.
And about basket snipe.
Thank you, Spyro.
Yeah, so there's a strat here where you fireball charge some baskets through a wall from out of the hound on the way down. Now it's got it bombed, but it's all fine. It's kind of tricky. Like, you can very easily miss them or like accidentally go back in bounds. But it's definitely worth getting them then rather than later. It makes the route for this area much nicer. Oh, no two-hole route for this area. It's like a new thing. Oh yeah, he's kind of going through these electric barriers. The reason he can just go through them is because he's going backwards through the level. They're only solid from one direction. So if he were to like turn around and try and go back through one, he wouldn't be able to. But because he's going backwards, it's all fine. And it's another thing with like skipping to the ends of levels. It's a common theme in this game. Stuff is just better if you go backwards. And then this challenge it's kind of hard, but it's fun when it goes well. You need to put the stones in the little like holders, I guess, I don't know what you call them, and then kill the thieves as they spawn. There are very specific routes for getting them to all spawn at once and killing them all very quickly. There is a really dumb thing that can happen here where a thief just despawns and it doesn't count. But hopefully we don't see that. And yeah, I guess not good. To respond to the thing in the chat, skill points are not part of the 100% run because they don't give you percentage. There's an in-game percent counter. We just need to get 100% on that. So no skill points, unfortunately. Well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, actually. Most of them are pretty dumb to get. They're not
We even
fun.
get like most of them in the run as well, anyway.
I guess the Speedway skill points we get.
They're like the most freest thing.
Yeah. But stuff like damageless bosses is just really awful. I would lose so much time just on Crush, like... doing it with no damage. Sorry, if there's a bunch of background noise from me. Character's got
Yeah, pretty good.
Alright. So yeah, this is Sunny Beach. This level is hard to be fast. It's fun, I think, but it's not easy.
It's pretty awkward to do.
There's a lot of swimming and a lot of dumb enemy hitboxes. A lot of turtles that don't like to cooperate. So another thing with Fireball, we don't need enemies in this level because we can just break the turtle boxes with our permanent Fireball rather than having to get the temporary Fireball barrel that would be that we normally use. So no need to kill enemies, which is very nice because the enemies in this level suck.
The stair part is annoying.
Yeah, for some reason the gems on the stairs just like to not home in sometimes. Oh, that wasn't even that, it's just falling down.
Thank you.
And we do need to fireball this turtle up onto the button, because we can skip into the room with the talisman, but we can't skip back out. And getting the talisman last would just be really slow, so we need to open the door.
Skipping that turtle box just to do this challenge first, but we'll get it after.
Yeah, we can make use of the warp from finishing that challenge to get back to the old guy. And then this is Turtles. The pattern is the same every time, so if you just learn the pattern, you should never fail.
Yeah.
But they have weird physics sometimes, so...
Don't fireball these turtles, because then if you charge them, after having fireballed them, then their physics are messed up from there.
Yeah.
Like, you can just charge them and they will just go off in some really random direction.
Yeah. They can sometimes do that even if you don't fireball them, like they bounce, and they bounce in a different direction to what you expect. For the most part, this goes pretty smoothly. And you can't really lose time except on the very last turtle.
Yeah, if you take too long to get this turtle, then an extra one spawns in and it loses a lot of time. Yeah, now getting the turtle crate. Now.
Through the wall.
Yeah, underwater fireballs have a weird hitbox, I guess, when going through the...
Yeah, they kind of spawn a bit in front of Spyro's mouth.
Like, if you poke... You can do that with a lot of things. Just... Basically, if you just poke Spyro's head through a wall.
Yeah, we'll see it in the next at the start of the next level as well, actually.
Yeah.
Just
this one's
getting...
even cooler.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm 26 seconds behind from being a minute and 33 behind from idle.
God damn.
Pretty good PB.
Record income. Reminder, this is an optimized speed game.
Yeah. This game's too hard to be optimized.
Yeah. So yeah, we hit this button at the very start to fill this room with water, so that we can do the same trick as before, where we fireball through a wall to hit the button, the last button of the level actually, which fills the whole level with water, which is very convenient.
Just do the entire level backwards. Wow, okay. The main power up for this one is you have to get a certain amount of enemies for Fireball to get these sharks.
Yeah. underwater fireballs are also really annoying because they don't go in a straight line. They kind of spiral through the water, which can make it really annoying to aim at things, especially the sharks, which are moving. And those sharks are deadly. If you get too close to them, they just kill you instantly. So.
Wow. Turning around fireball or underwater again is terrible.
Yeah. It's kind of a common theme in games for water levels to suck. This one is kind of weird. It's really fun when it goes well, but if you make movement mistakes and have to turn around in the water, it's just awful. And yeah, you kind of have to aim above those sharks because the fireball doesn't go through the water plane, it just kind of explodes on the top of the water to kill the sharks with the blast radius. Oh, that's a cool little strat to try them.
Yeah, get this talisman, which you can't actually get without having to hit that last button. Because they like programmed it to be like if he isn't swimming, then you don't. You can still talk to him, but you won't get the talisman if he's not all swimming and stuff. So you absolutely need to have that last button hit.
You did it.
It's a problem in the other categories because you do sheep proxy to get the button, and if you accidentally talk to that guy while you're up there doing the proxy, he doesn't give you the talisman, and he won't give you the talisman unless you exit and re-enter the level. So it's a thing you got to be mindful of.
Right. Up on his back and guide him through each of the rings of bubbles as it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ty. I've never seen that before. That's
I think Parso came up with that strat a while ago.
So yeah, we did the seahorse out of bounds. I've explained that before, but you basically just swim into the floor to get out of bounds, and then go straight into the last tower, the King Finny or King Flippy, I can't remember what his name is. He doesn't care about his other children, just the last one.
Oh, apparently it was Grant. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And yeah, during this Manta challenge, we can collect a bunch of gems. You can't really speed up the seahorse, so it doesn't really lose time to get these gems. And it's better than just like going around before the challenge or afterwards.
Also, you can like be touching the seahorse there for some reason. Like he tends to slow down if you're pretty far behind. And if you're like that up close, it can be a bit scary.
Yeah. You also got to be careful with this second to last ring to actually go through it, because if you skip it by accident, because you kind of go through it backwards and then turn around, and if you accidentally skip it, you end up crashing the game when you go through the last ring. It's some really dumb thing. Except on emulator, it's a strat on emulator to skip that ring. So yeah, we're now done with Summer Forest, done with the first homeworld. We can head back to Autumn Plains. This homeworld is very long, there's a lot of levels, and we haven't done any of them yet. On the first visit, we just skipped straight to Gulp, so gonna be in here for a while. And this first level, Scalos, is probably my favourite level in the whole run. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous though.
Yeah, it's I think the only level where you actually have to take damage to do stuff in.
Yeah, it's the normal way to do this level, you need to kill a bunch of enemies to get an invincibility power up, which lets you walk on the lava and collect gems and stuff on the lava. But activating that power up would be really slow, so instead we're just going to be damage boosting a lot, just taking a lot of damage on the lava.
I tried to.
The problem with that, oh yeah, you go.
I tried to do a strat there where if I backpedal Spyro, I'll grab the 10 gem that was behind me, but it didn't go up well.
Yeah.
Oh, that had to happen? Really?
My
It's like
goodness.
failed my double jump. Yeah, that's good.
Alright, so that's what happens in ski ropes. You, because you spend so much time on very low health, it's very easy to just die from the smallest mistakes. And especially in this level, that's a huge issue because there is a mystery jar. We didn't really explain this in Robotica, but there's 4 mystery jars in the game, and the way they work is you hit them once, and then they teleport somewhere else in the level, and then you hit them again, and they teleport, and it's usually like 4 or 5 kind of iterations of it. And once you hit the last one, it explodes and gives you a bunch of gems. But if you die in the middle of the sequence, it goes all the way back to the start. So you have to do the whole thing again. And so obviously with how easy it is to die in this level, that's a big problem.
Yeah, normally I would be Sparkless at this point.
Yeah, the jump on the lava to get that loser is normally much scarier because you don't have any spare health. But because of the death, he was on had plenty of health, so it wasn't quite as worrying. No bone dance this run, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think there was a bone dance run earlier in the season. No good chance.
Yeah, if you want to see Bone Dance, go check out whoever did the Bone Dance category.
I think it was Jake, if I remember. But yeah, that's the end of the mystery jar. Bunch of 5 gems.
I think people hated this challenge as a kid. Mainly the second part of this.
I know I did. It's
Yeah,
5-star difficulty.
Yeah, man. It's so hard.
Yeah, the challenges in this game will have a difficulty rating, which is kind of interesting. And this one is max difficulty. Oh, not well, I don't know how far delayed my commentary is, but the second Dinos challenge. But because it's always the same pattern every time, it's not a problem for us. We just learn which ones come out when. And we can do a little cool thing at the end where we kill 2 of them at the same time using. I don't know what Alex does, but I use a music cue to know when
Yeah, that's what I do.
the eggs are gonna hatch. Yeah, nice. Because the music restarts when you start the challenge, so it's always going to be on the same point in the music.
Well done.
Okay, Metro Speedway, which if you get up here without having talked to Elora, this portal would be locked. So you have to talk to her, activate the whirlwind.
Yeah, for some reason she says she activates a whirlwind, but she also opens the portal. Like, you can't even do it if you just skip up to it. Yeah, brand new route for this route, which is so cool.
Yeah, the previous route hadn't changed for like 3 years or something. Yeah, we thought for some reason, oh yeah, there's no making this faster.
The
section
routes
is
for this.
shit though.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, there's no making this section any better. It's always going to be awful. But yeah, the routes for this category have changed a lot over the years, and they're still changing. Like, there's new stuff being found even now.
Okay, this is kind of auto-scrolly, but you can speed it up slightly with supercharging.
Because you got any
Supercharging
donations,
is
now would
faster.
be a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you watch a run from a few years ago, there was a run by Spyrothon at SGDQ 2013 of this category, which was a lot of Spyro runners, like first run they saw, because because it was the first Spyro on GDQ. And if you watch that, you got like a 213 or something, and if you watch that and compare with runs nowadays, it's crazy how much the category has evolved.
Cool little strat at the end.
Oh yeah, I love this. You get the last like bag before it even spawns, I guess, before the guy drops it. It's like the biggest time saver in that challenge. Oh, thanks for Ronnie22 for your $5,000 donation.
Thanks, Ronnie.
So yeah, coming out, this is Zephyr. This is, I think, the longest level in the run, and one of the most annoying.
People remember this game, know why. But
yeah, the actual, like, I like the level, like, other than the one thing that makes it awful. I think it's like as a level, just like the movement and stuff is really fun. Unfortunately, we have Calyx, which kind of ruins it. So yeah, sniped that just a bit early, it just speeds up this section.
Whoa!
normally you'd open this talisman room with the cannon back there, but of course you can break it with a fireball.
Yeah, it needs cannons. The cannon's really annoying to aim as well, so it's really nice to be able to get in and hit fire.
Also a cool little jump there. You might have seen Dax 40 orb run. I don't know if you got it, but
I did, yeah.
yeah, there's like a huge invisible wall surrounding those hills, and you can't really get around it very easily. And that's like the only way you can get around it. Also, here's some nice strats here.
Oh, you're doing it.
I did it pretty poorly, but still.
Yeah, you can kind of set up there to get pushed out of that room by doing. Oh yeah, you waited ages to skip the cutscene.
I thought it was skippable with X for some reason.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to wait a second, like a tiny bit of time to skip the cutscene to make that work, but it's just nice to get knocked out of there early, because you would be going down there anyway. So yeah, Calyx, you have to herd them into the pen, and they are awful. They move in really, like they move away from you, so you kind of herd them just by moving around them, and then you can also hit them further by charging or fireball. They go really high if you fireball them, they go low if you charge them.
Also, this Calyx can be a pain in the ass. And that as well. Like, because of fireball, like it has a pretty kind of big blast radius, so it can hit other Calyx as well when you don't want them to. It sends them off to the left or right.
Yeah. Normally, if you do this challenge in a normal playthrough, you have Flame, and Flame lets you kind of control the Calyx a bit more finely. They just kind of hop a little bit, rather than going flying like they did there. Fireball's definitely faster, because you send them further, but it's harder to control.
Okay. I think it's the first time you actually... Oh no, second time you climb. But still,
Yeah, there's only actually a few ladders in the game, there's not very many. It's like 5 or 6. You can... I think you can... Yeah, you can do 100% without climbing. It's a bit slow in Magma, but... And then yeah, you need Fireball for these two cows in the secret area. But,
Yeah. Like,
well, you
I think,
normally get a temporary power.
yeah. Some levels, power-up actually kind of requires, like, very, very little enemies, like 2, for some reason.
They don't.
That's one of them. Zephyr only requires 2 enemies to unlock the Fireball power-up for some reason.
Yeah. And there are, it seems it's one of the ones where they just didn't want you to get to that point and not be able to use the power up. But yeah, we have Fireball, so we don't need to worry about that. Can break these doors without the cannons as well. And yeah, another mystery challenge, I guess is what's one there. There's 4 of them in the game, and that's the 3rd one we get.
Yeah, the whole mystery jar gimmick is just starting from near the end of the level and then going straight back.
Yep.
So typically you want to get near the end as fast as possible.
Yeah, we end up
Do
finishing
the
this
level
level.
backwards.
Yeah, we end up finishing this one exactly where we started, which is pretty cool. So that was pretty good, I think, that Zephyr. I don't know what the segment time was or anything, but
It was like 18 seconds off my best.
That's
So,
is that like 6 or something.
5:54.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, your best is better than I remember. Okay. Yeah, so sub 6 Zephyr is pretty damn good. So yeah, Glacier, it's got all the same jumps as in the other categories, but now you have to kill enemies. I mean, you have to kill enemies in 40 as well, but it's...
This requires 15.
Yes. Yeah, we need a Superfly power up. Again, you don't need the Superfly for this level, but it's just very much worth getting. Doing the Bracklets without the Superfly is very small. I think AllyDest had a route where he didn't use the Superfly at all, but it's just awkward. And yeah, this bridge that he jumped on, that's only there because he did theatre at the start of the run. Normally you have to pay money bags for that, or just skip it with some jumps. There's a bunch of ways to skip that bridge, but having the bridge there makes it more feasible to do a faster route for that route.
Yeah. 15 enemies for this little challenge here, which you need to kill all the Draclets, basically, and they can respawn each other if you take too much time.
I find that really cool how you kind of reach the power up just as the last spirit gets there.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kind of delay yourself a little bit. If you get there as fast as possible, you'll get there before the power up is active.
Yeah, that guy, if you saw, he turned around to try and respawn the one in front of the Superfly power-up.
Yeah.
Typically you want to kill that guy first.
Yeah, I
doing
guess
the
call
whole
that
challenge.
one cycle Draclets if you get... You don't need to get...
It's technically not a one cycle, but
yeah,
it's
this is what we call it.
yeah. Because you can't actually like get all the Draclets before one even spawns another.
1.1 cycle.
So here's storage. It's basically like the little escort in Glimmer is if you get too far ahead. Well, after like feeding him all the fish, if you get too far ahead of him, then he won't actually follow you. So to wait a little bit over here so that he'll follow me back to his owner. Do this little stutter walk.
Yeah, if you get too far ahead of George, he can just lose you. He just kind of sits there.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. Typically, Glacier is like a pretty hard level. It's got a lot of enemies in kind of weird places.
Yeah, and some tough movement as well. Like jumping around those huts is hard to do fast.
I kind of want to show off Bruce Kennel.
Yeah, I mean, might as well go for it. You're not like on PvP, basically.
No, like minute 22 second.
Yeah, so might as well.
I'll show off a route that's not really done in runs because it requires 2 proxies off of fodder. You should always kill that guy, by the way. He'll hit you all the time. Oops.
Thanks for
Yeah, so
You can just easily get to the end like this.
yeah, this is the skip that we do in every other category. This isn't in the normal. Well, I mean it is, but it's much later in the route, in the kind of normal RTA route. But it's nice with this one just to do it first. I don't actually know this route very well. I've kind of learned it ages ago. I forgot.
Oh, got like the hardest proxy out. I forgot Venom Snake's little whole thing. He like adapted to this route. So apologies to Venom Snake. I'll have to go for a second proxy.
Oh, did he reduce it to 1 proxy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. So yeah, that was a clan proxy. They're one of the easiest fodder proxies in the game. This route is kind of viable in runs because the proxies are so easy, but if you miss them, it's just awful. Really awkward to recover from. And yeah, we don't, like, if you remember the trolley minigame, we don't need to use the trolley at all. You can just get up on the tracks and collect the gears normally. You don't get warped at the end after you get them all, but if you just go and talk to the guy after getting all 50 gears, he gives you the warp.
Okay. Bruce Kennel went good.
Good stuff.
Like, clan proxies themselves are actually pretty easy to do, fortunately, but like Dak said, missing them is pretty terrible. All I need to do is collect all the gears, hopefully not fall. Okay.
That was
So yeah, this is one level where Fireball saves, like, huge amounts of time, like maybe minutes. It's so the old route before Gulpskip, because Gulpskip was about like nearly 3 years ago now, I think. It was a while, but the route before Gulpskip used to do, well, some people did this level in 2 visits because it was just worth just doing as little as possible with Flame and then coming back later once they had Fireball to do the rest. That was faster than doing it all with Flame.
Okay. Like, it's another level I have like 40 seconds to save on my PB, which is pretty good. And I saved like 35.
Good shit.
It's closer to 45, but still. Yeah, that route is faster by a good few seconds compared to the route I usually do in runs. But if like my run is not going to PB, then I typically use that one for shits.
Yeah. It's like the only final proxy that is kind of reasonable to do 100%. So yeah, Scorch, this is another level with multiple saves. Normally you'd have to kill a lot of enemies to get the super flame power up to hit bomb off the flame boss. So yeah, 3 Bombo challenges. My stream has actually died, so I can't see what we're doing, but we need to get to the end as soon as possible to start the Bombo challenge. The hell? I can't get the stream to end.
Yeah, you need to get to the end for combo, like Dax said. And each one you complete, there are 3 of them, but each one you complete, like, you have to do the other, but except it'll be a longer path each time. So, second one, I'll just try to go for a snipe. That one looked good, but...
Yeah, the second Bombo snipe is really hard to get. So yeah, it's kind of rooted so that you end up getting all the gems during the Bombo challenges.
Not sure if I got second Bombo down from there, but...
Yeah, I don't know if that hit either.
I think I heard the sound where it... Like, there is a sound effect for when you hit Bombo off the flagpole.
Yeah, I don't have audio on stream, so...
I think I heard it vaguely.
And yeah, this is the one keys. You can't speed this up. This is just the way. I mean, you can kind of speed it up by hitting the monkeys as early as possible, so that they still land in the barrels, but you can't make Hunter run any faster. Yeah, Bombo 2 is the scariest Bombo in this route. There's like one spot in particular where it is only what you can do. Doesn't happen too often.
Ah! Oh my god. It's like the closest I've been on 2 of them.
Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, if you get hit by one of those bombs, you go back to, you don't die, but you go back to the start of that like phase of Bombo.
Yeah.
And each one's longer than the previous one, so if you do it late in one of the second or third one, then it's no problem. Thankfully with this route, you should never ever get hit by a third phase bomb like that. Which is really nice. Shoutouts to Venom and Parson for working on this route.
Yeah. Now we're just gonna collect the rest of the gems up here, do a little thing.
Which isn't faster.
It's faster for me.
So yeah, it kind of looks weird. You kind of leave, you go in the opposite direction to Bombo. You don't follow. But by doing this route through the middle area like he did, it kind of triggers Bombo to follow him. And so he's now at this point going for the talisman. He's following you from quite far behind, so he can't hit you because he's so far behind. And he catches up with you during the talisman cutscene.
Bombo can hit you here after getting the talisman if you're a bit slow to get the
I still
last
don't
gems.
believe it.
And you'll basically cry after that.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing.
I've never even had that be like close to happening. He's never thrown a bomb anywhere near me. So. It amazes me that people have got it like multiple times.
Yeah. Probably the least favorite of everyone's. Well, least favorite level for everyone. But for speedruns, I quite like this one. It's actually quite consistent.
Yeah, I really like Fracture. It's hard. It's got like a hard thing in it. It starts off hard when you learn it, and then it gets easier. And then if you try and incorporate a better version of this strat, it becomes hard again, and then easier.
There is a crash you can get here, also, for some reason. From just like when you get like a double snipe on two satyrs, they like play each other's, I guess, cutscenes together, and for some reason like the explosion for the second satyr kind of gets delayed a bit, and that can kind of like the explosion kind of plays while you're like collecting a gem or whatever, because you'll only like play you only wait out for like one of the cutscenes. The second kind of just plays on its own while you're just running around.
Oh, that's cool. Killing that Earthshade for while you get the snipe on the 25. I never thought of that.
That's another 2-hole strat.
Frame savers courtesy of Envoy 2. So yeah, this is a sequence break. He kills most of the Earthshakers before even starting the Alchemist Challenge. Kills the last one during it. But that means that he can like do a bunch of other stuff during the Alchemist Challenge because he doesn't need to escort him around because the Earthshaker's already dead. And so he uses that time to get a lot of gems and an orb and a satyr. The satyr is optional. There's an easier version of this where you don't get the satyr.
Yeah, this basically works out where it's very tight to make. So you need,
yes.
basically if you bonk anywhere, then it's, I wouldn't say it's over, but it'd be really
Yeah, I thought it was getting
risky.
squished by
Oh,
an
I did
Earthshaker a
fireball.
couple
What
times.
the heck?
So there is a little bit of leeway, but not much.
That you can like snipe those vases from behind Hunter after having that little brief moment of movement.
I thought you got one even without fireballing. He's charged it.
Good movement by me. Oh yeah, check the strat here, by the way. Wow, I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. I'm not talking
I
about
just-
that, I thought.
Only did it once, but I like fireball, like flame charged the basket and hit the bush.
Right, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I normally don't even kill that bush. I just outrun. But yeah, the ending section's the place where it can crash. But it's only happened like 4 or 5 times ever. So
I usually only do double satyrs if there's like a text box, and there's 3 of them for the first one, the 5th one, and the 6th one. So you get a double satyr at the first one to not get the text box for the first one, and then double snipe the 5th and 6th to only get 1 text box instead of 2. Just some nice time saves overall.
yeah, it's another place where fireball next time you can't do those doubles without fireball.
Yeah, here's more RNG in the run, but it's not as bad as Fish and Idle. This is mostly based around your movement the whole time.
Yeah, like it's a random challenge. Like the spawning of the crystals is random, but you can make it much faster with good execution.
had this go really well, and
Okay.
around that I almost could have PB'd in. And
I'll give you a
saved like 5 seconds off my best segment there.
Oh, wow.
Whoops.
Yeah, so the second popcorn, the RNG of the crystals doesn't change, but Hunter just gets much better. He runs faster, he doesn't get lost as much, and he can pick up crystals earlier. So you kind of have to, well, you don't have to, but it helps to steal a couple off him just to make sure he doesn't like, beat you, because that's a real possibility.
You're really.
Yeah, it's a completely random challenge that has pretty small variance in time. Usually like within like 20 seconds if you're pretty good with it. Now this collecting more stuff. I almost forget the movement here.
I'll do this section a little bit. You need to be very careful with that you actually collect everything in this little section.
Yeah, there's... Well, you can get out, but using this elevator though, that's like the only way out.
If you go into the volcano and then realize you've missed a gem outside, it's very slow to get back in. And if you didn't do theater, you couldn't get back in. Like,
I kind of want this balloon. Thanks.
oh my god. So yeah, this is Party Poopers. If you saw the 4D orb run, you'd have seen me do this with the rocks, but it's much nicer with fire.
So we have to get the power up from underneath, because if you go anywhere near that elevator section, if you try to do this little sequence break, then like your height gets cut by a lot, like the height limit for flying, and you're not able to do that ever.
Yeah, every area has a height cap where you can't fly above it. But by going like slightly under that height cap and then doing what we call a super fly jump, oh my god, that was close. Give me a heart attack. Yeah, we're going slightly underneath the height cap and then doing a super fly jump, which is basically just a double jump while super flying. You can go way above the height cap.
Yeah. Just getting that power up again just resets that height limit. That strat usually works with the 2 gems, but then I forget that you can miss one of them sometimes.
So yeah, Shady. In every other category, this level involves a lot of waiting, but because there's so much stuff to collect, we don't really need to wait for Shorty. We're just so that you're always getting stuff. You do still need to lead him through the level and break all the stuff though, because he gives you the talisman. That was a top tier mystery there. So you sniped that the first instance of the mystery jar through the floor, and then the second one spawns right next to you, so you get 2 of them right off the bat like that. That was a good fodder rate. So every 10th fodder you get gives you a life, and sometimes you just randomly get lives in really convenient places.
Yeah, sometimes people think it's random that you get an extra life from just killing a random fodder.
Shoutouts to Jeremy, who actually like rooted getting a life from a fodder as far as for He's such a cool strategy.
Yeah, I need.
You need 8.
Yeah.
You go.
I need 18 enemies in this level to be able to do a challenge, which I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't have Head Bash because it requires that specific ability.
Yeah, but like you don't
this
actually
infraction-
need Head Bash because you have Fireball, but
Yeah.
the NPC won't let you attempt the challenge if you don't have Head Bash.
Yeah. He just doesn't think the fireballs are good enough to free his friends.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Hunter challenge in Fracture Hills, which we didn't see because we didn't even mention that the enemies were all already dead, so Hunter just gave us the orb immediately. But for that reason, if you aren't able to do Double Skip, you need to revisit this level in Fracture.
I need 18 enemies just to be able to walk on this because there are just 2 bases here.
You probably could do it without the invincibility, but again, the guy won't let you attempt it.
I think you can, maybe? Actually, I think they only come out if you get the power up, I don't know.
Yeah, the guy doesn't let you attempt it if the power up isn't active. Which is why if you miss an enemy and have to go back for one, it's really, really bad because the power up, the spirits take so long to get to the power up in this level that if you forget an enemy, you have to wait for ages to be able to attempt that challenge.
Yeah. Last instance of the mystery jar. Last Speedway in the game. And
Yes.
probably the hardest. I don't know. I consider Metro kind of the hardest at this point. But Icy is kind of like usually how speedways are lined up with all the 4 things you need to get. That's fireball snipe at the
Oh wow, that was fantastic.
That was not planned.
I love it.
But
this is not the route that most people do. I think this is about the same speed as the kind of more common route. But I guess Alex is just more used to it. He's been doing it for ages.
you can get 102 time remaining.
Good job.
Yeah, I've got 102 with
I'll go behind my snowball and you
the other route as well, so it's they're about the same, I think.
Yeah, usually how speedways are lined up is where you like they try to be linear with how everything is lined up, but Icy is kind of more out of order and stuff.
Yeah, there's not really like a clear path through the level. There's so many different ways to do it, so there's a bunch of different routes. The IL strat for Icy is crazy.
Yeah, involves
People
a lot
should check
of
that out.
snipes.
It's on the leaderboards. It's perfect monster.
Yeah, more auto scrollers.
Wait
And it's
Yep.
probably the most nerve-wracking one to fail because it obviously fail at any point to do it all over,
Yeah.
and it takes
There's
a
only
while.
a couple of places where you need to do anything other than hold left or hold right, but still, like if you look away, it's so tempting to like look away from the screen during that challenge because it's an auto scroller and it should be easy, but just don't. It's a bad idea.
Last few gems, and that's the whole of Autumn Plains complete. Now it's just, I guess, a bit of half of 1200 left.
Yeah, just 3 more levels.
Marsh has always been like really hard to do in speedruns.
Yeah.
Temples used to be pretty consistent until like a recent little strat that saves around 5 seconds was found. That makes...
I wouldn't say that's inconsistent. It's not much harder than the old strat, I don't think. Reminder to practice.
Practices.
Yeah, so Mystic Marsh, it's a really annoying level to like come up with a route for, because the
whole level is
trade
based around
sequence.
this. And the whole level is based around this trading challenge. Professor lost his pencil, so he just gives you an egg. Go place it somewhere. Which goes in that nest over there. But I'm just gonna spit it out over here first. Talk to this guy who spawns 4 thieves, which has the spark plugs for his car.
Yeah, so a combination of the trade sequence and this Thieves challenge really defines how you have to do this level. But even then, there's a few different routes. And that was double Thieves. There's a little cutscene that plays after you kill each thief. Normally you can kind of pause and unpause to speed it up, but if you don't want to do that, you can speed it up by doing that with a strat, where you get 2 of them and then talk to the old guy. The cutscenes play during the old cutscenes, so no need to pause.
These monkeys are annoying, by the way. And the elephants are also just as annoying. But this whole level's a pain in the ass. Throw that. Spitting that duck over there is apparently like the perfect like height to get it in the pond. Makes for a really cool ride.
Dying in this level is absolutely horrendous as well.
Yeah,
if you start the whole trade sequence again, there's no coming back from that. I think we've both lost runs to dying in each one.
Okay, that doesn't usually happen. What the? That was silly.
Oh, he just dodged you.
I wasn't even close to him. What the heck? Why did he
Oh,
keep
the
running?
second one as well. What? So yeah, that's the thieves done. Just gotta do more of the trade challenge and some more gems.
Used to be a cool strat where you could like spit the turnip in the pot and then head bash in the water for those 3-5 gems. But apparently it's slower.
By timing it. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot on Sparkless. Oh shit.
Don't tell me you died.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, okay, it would just be the gems at the end, yeah. Yeah, so what you would normally do there is you spit the pencil into that room and then grab those 2 gems while it's waiting to warp you, but because he was sparkless, he didn't actually get them.
There are 2 penguins up here that I can get, luckily, but...
Yeah, it's not a huge deal.
Still kind of annoying spots.
Yeah, it's a really awkward place to be sparkless as well. I don't think I've ever had that.
Well, it's
Now for Cloud Temples, people might remember Agent Zero.
Do we have Secret Agent? No, yes, we do. Good stuff. So yeah, raise your Secret Agents for later.
Paused twice for some reason. Usually if you mash through a cutscene that requires start to mash through, typically you can mash a bit too early and pause the game before it even starts.
Yeah. Yeah, getting through those like little mini cutscenes is really awkward. So this level doesn't really have a lot in the way of like complicated routes. The path through the level is pretty straightforward. The end section is very cool, as I was trying to see. And then these warlocks like to steal your camera, so you have to do some movement to make sure you don't have that happen.
No bell snipe.
I suppose.
Yeah, another place where Fireball saves time. You normally need to get a power up to freeze some enemies and jump on them to hit the bells.
Thanks, Spyro.
But who needs that? It's a lot of enemies as well. It's like 21 or something.
Yeah. But
Although
usually
you
they
can-
spawn once you have all those enemies.
Yeah, you
The
can do it
trolls.
without the power up or Fireball using the rocks as well, but
Yeah.
that's slow too. So.
Hoping that hits him.
Yeah, so this
Okay, it
is
does.
Agent Zero sequence break thing. He's going to hit the Warlock at the end and then head straight back down. The Warlock is going to not die yet until he talks to Agent Zero and kind of walks forward a bit towards that ring. It's kind of proximity based for some reason. And then the Warlock dies and you get teleported up, get the orb, but Agent Zero has already started moving. And so you save a bunch of time just from waiting for Agent Zero. And then you can also get a bunch of gems during that as well. The route that he did there is pretty new. It's done by two more recently. We used to get different gems there. It was a fair bit slower.
What?
And yeah, getting all the gems during this challenge is kind of hard, especially at the very end.
Basically, you never want to charge into or fireball Agent Zero while he's going to his secret base.
Yeah.
He'll turn around and just catch you, which loses a lot of time. Even missing the snipe on the Warlock, or like triggering Agent Zero too late, you'll lose upwards of 30 seconds. Like, there's no real good backup for it either.
Yeah, going for that sequence break is kind of all or nothing.
So it's the worst thing to fail in the end of the run.
Yeah, it sucks that it's at the very end of the route. So yeah, last level, Metropolis. This level's interesting because it's on a global cycle. Like as soon as you spawn into the level, there's 3 UFOs in the last area that also spawn in, and they move on a cycle. And so depending on how quickly you do the start of the level up to that point, you'll have different cycles for the UFOs. It's kind of hard to get consistent cycles in this category because there's just so much to get in the first part of the level. Try.
People probably hated this Hawks, because you'll just like throw bombs at you usually, but you can just wreck them with fireball.
Yeah, this challenge is awful normally.
Definitely missed the cycle for UFOs. It's like practicing this level a couple days ago and just trying different stuff with the first UFO section. Oh yeah, did you mention like this is one of the levels that you kind of want Fireball for?
Oh, I guess because of the elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah, the elevators. You normally have to head bash them, and you kind of ride them up. You get stuck to them. And, oh my god, that UFO is really good. Yeah, so you head bash them and ride them up, but for some reason they make them work by just standing on fireballing as well. And you don't get stuck to them in that case. It's optimized. I tried to go for a faster UFOs too.
Nice flying.
No, it's fine.
I was practicing the 40-old version of that the other day, and it's so hard. I don't know how you do it.
I only got 2 of those 2 gems. What the heck, Sparks?
But yeah, UFOs 2 is much more consistent because they don't start their cycle until after you finish UFOs 1, so it's always consistent.
This level's just a pain in the ass right now. There's one of the storm chests, and it's kind of RNG where the gems will land after you break them, but there's one of them where one will just fall from the lower area, and I got that right here. There's another gem I have to get because Sparks sucks.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different routes for this like big area in the middle. There's just gems everywhere. Oh my god, how did you miss that? What the that green gem. That's alright, Gumboot, we're nearly done. Just got the last boss to go.
This is barely going to be 142, but messed up.
Hey man.
It's gonna be a 143. That's actually pretty good, like for a marathon.
You want Pace to sub me.
Spyro, we want.
But yeah, the final boss just gets destroyed by fireball. You do this in every category, just completely wreck him.
Yeah. Usually you just have to collect a bunch of orbs and you get a certain power up if you collect a certain color of the third one. Yeah. Just
Early hits, just shoot a fireball and then skips the cutscene quickly, and the fireball persists through the cutscene and hits in the next phase. Third phase is kind of tricky.
143 flat.
Oh man, that's fucking good. That's reminder that no one else has got a time better than that. Like, not even as much. Yeah, like I have a 143 something, but that beats everyone else's PBs. So shout out to Alex. Good run, man.
Yeah, it shows 143.03 on the stream, but it shows on my splits 143.
Wouldn't that be RTA time?
Yeah, I'd better. They'll be missing me in the
No.
Dragon Worlds, and I've still got a
No?
vacation to take.
Okay.
I need
This
it more
is-
than ever now.
SDA.
Oh, are you streaming your own run? Like, are you not restreaming? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Streaming it.
All the other the timers for all the other runs have started on new game. So
We want you to keep the gems as a reward for helping
anyway,
us.
Wow.
Usually by my standards, this would be kind of for me now.
Yeah.
I've been trying to aim for 139 for a while.
Go to Dragon Shores. Hey, why don't you guys come with me? I bet you could use a holiday.
Oh, right, the timer started
Oh.
late because you were muted, so the countdown didn't come through. That's right. Yeah, world record is 141.32 by this guy, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Got
time
it
saves
just a
in
few
a bunch
days
of
ago.
Come on,
levels,
Sparks. We've got a lot of vacation to catch up on.
but should expect 139, maybe 138 if I get lucky.
Yeah, it's happening. But yeah, no, that was a really cool run. That was best marathon run this category's had by a fair bit, I think. Or am I misremembering something?
I kind of want to show off something like a soft lock though. It's pretty funny in Fracture Hills, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
If Parso's
I don't know,
ready,
we're
then
ahead of
I don't
I think
have
we're
to show
ahead
it.
of schedule, so tough.
It's up to the.
Yeah, we're like an
Streams.
hour ahead of schedule according to the Harara. So
Actually, at the end of 100% rounds, we usually just do Tunnel of Love, and people would guess what character you would get.
yeah, I don't think there's any hurry. Yeah, Parso's saying go for it. We're an hour ahead of schedule.
So for people who don't know what characters you can get from Tunnel of Love, then there's the Fawn from Fracture Hills, there's the Monks brothers in Colossus, there's Chef, Sunny Beach, George, and Handle. I think that's it.
And Agent Zero. It will happen one day.
One day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, place your bets.
this is what we do, like usually after a PB, but just for the occasion. I'm going Chef though.
As promised.
The suspense is killing me. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty rare one.
Okay, just one thing I want to show. Fracture Hills, which is pretty funny. I know you've seen it, but
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's gonna. I can guess it's in Fracture, but
the
nah, don't spoil.
okay,
No
okay.
spoiler
It involves the alchemists.
enough. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different crashes and soft locks you can do in this game.
Yeah, next run after this is Spyro 3117 by Parsofish.
Yeah, definitely
Yes.
check that out.
It's really good.
Got a new record like 2 days ago, I think.
Okay, if you
Yeah.
say no to this guy, then do a thing with the Nurse Shaper. You can push him all the way into where the alchemist is.
I don't think I've seen this.
And then soft lock the game. Because for some reason, this triggers the Earth Shaper to hit the Alchemist over and over.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I've never seen. That is sick. Can you pause? No, because you're in a cutscene.
Soft
aren't
lock.
you?
I cannot
Yeah,
pause
oh,
at all, so
That's fantastic.
this is literally it. You can't really do it with the closest Earthshaper because it shows the alchemist's animation where his bottle just gets thrown in the air and breaks, and it just counts as failing the challenge, and you'll just teleport back to him. But yeah, that was Spyro 2.
Yeah. Good job, Alex. That's a really good one.
Go check
Next
out
up we
Parso.
have 117 was Parso, yeah.
Good luck to Parso.